My friends, I am going to show you 14 crypto investing habits that will keep you broke, that kept me losing out on crypto. I hope this will help you save a massive amount of your crypto, help you understand why you've had your failures that you've had so far, and help you in the future to get a much better return with crypto investing. Now is an incredible time to invest in crypto, especially as banks are injecting huge amounts of liquidity, continuing to devalue our money, and I don't want you to miss out on any more of your gains. I've been in crypto 9 years, and yesterday somebody asked me on the stream, they said, Jerry, if you could just go back to the beginning and hold on to the 60 Bitcoin you had, would you do it? And I said no, because I wouldn't be able to educate people and understand people who are out there screwing things up. Because if I just did it completely right from the beginning, if I just dollar cost averaged and bought a whole bunch of Bitcoin and had millions in crypto, I wouldn't be able to understand what you are doing. And I've made these 14 bad habits off of seeing what I've done in the past, off of seeing what you all have been doing, and seeing what everybody else is talking about and how they're going about it. Once you break these bad habits, you will be able to get a much higher return on your investment and truly capitalize on building wealth instead of just trying to make quick money and consistently spending a bunch of time and energy only to get wrecked. So I'm doing this live. If you want more of these, I trust you'll keep coming back and smash that like button. After I go through this presentation, I will review any crypto you want me to review, answer any questions you've got. What's up, Fun and Cool? Chai Sox fan for life. Tim, Stratos, Castman Gold, Crypto Shady, Lisa, Kevin, Hendrick, Dominic, good to see all of you today. So let's take a look at these bad habits. And of course, with every bad habit, I will also give you an idea of what the good habit is so you can detect if these bad habits are something you are doing, stop doing them and replace them, reprogram your unconscious mind with healthy habits. If you're missing these live streams and watching this after I'm live, I have a Discord server and a Telegram channel, and if you turn on all YouTube notifications, that will help you get here. So let's start with the first thing. These are biases, habits, beliefs that screw up your success. And these screw up your success often subconsciously. You don't even realize it. You just end up noticing that no matter what you do in crypto, things don't seem to go that well. So the first habit is that first impressions matter too much. First impressions, like the first time you see something, the first time I ever saw Bitcoin was at $600 and some dollars. So naturally, when Bitcoin hit $1,700, I called the top. I'm like this, the first time I saw it, it was 600, and then it's 3 times as high as when I saw it. This is crazy, the price is so high. So if you are having the broke habit here, the broke habit is whatever you first learned about something at is your baseline. And then anything that happens from there, you're biased based on your first impression. So the millionaire habit is to value your investments on their potential for growth from where they're at today, and not to be valuing where you first got in. So some of you, if you first discovered Bitcoin at 65K and now it's at 27K, you might think just because when it was high you discovered it and now, you might think this is a great price to buy at, or you might think it's crap, all it does is go down. When I look at Bitcoin today and I still think, God, it's so expensive. Because when I first bought it, it was 600. So the first impressions we often let matter too much. So the thing is to identify if that's happening for you. Now the second one is I should have probably put this first. This is one of the biggest biases and habits that absolutely destroy people and get you to go all in. This is called confirmation bias. Thank you, Bods Gaming, for watching from the Philippines. Nice to see you today. So confirmation bias is when you get an idea in your head and you intentionally reject or ignore anything that doesn't go with that idea. For example, when I decided to be a Bitcoin maxi for a while. I ignored any other ideas and anybody who was saying anything besides Bitcoin is the only crypto that's worth having. When I was all in on the cryptocurrency Steem, I saw a lot of reasons that I shouldn't be all in on this, that I should diversify. I ignored all of them, put all of them into they're fudding, they don't know what they're talking about. I see this a lot in the Hex community. An absolute ton in the Hex community. The basic thing, confirmation bias, is anytime someone says, do more research, it's really a way of saying, keep looking at this until you agree with me. I saw that so much on my video saying, this is why I'm not buying Hex. People consistently, oh, just do more research. Oh, you don't really know about this. Oh, look, this, you're so wrong. That's confirmation bias, because I don't know whether Hex is going to do great or whether Hex is going to zero. My calculations currently say that it's going to zero, at least on Ethereum. Maybe on Pulse Chain it will do great, but on Ethereum, Hex looks like it's going to zero. That's just my calculation. Now, I watch people, I listen to people that blatantly disagree with me, like Joe Paris. I talk with him every week. He thinks Hex is going to the moon. He bought some at several different low prices, and he's sitting in a lot of profits. I'm listening to him, and I'm aware that Hex might do really well. I'm open to hearing about data. If I can find a critical mass of data that will lead me to the other conclusion, I will switch my mind and maybe even buy some. So the millionaire mindset here is I gather as much data as I can about potential investments, including the good, bad, and the ugly. You should intentionally look for things that if there's something you're really positive on, look for stuff that sucks about it. Try and find what's ugly and nasty and dirty, like Shiba Inu. Some of you have this confirmation bias pretty hard with Shiba Inu, and there's tons of dirty, nasty, bad, and ugly about Shiba Inu, reasons you would not want to hold it. I bought 50 knowing those things, and now I don't have any plans to buy anymore. So confirmation bias, one of the main reasons people make bad decisions in crypto is the first idea you get about something, you reject anything else. So try and be aware of this. If you're aware of it, you won't be so subject to it and you can change your mind. Thank you for each of you smashing that like button. That's one little thing you can do that will help this go out to lots more people. We're gonna go more into the confirmation bias. There's an even deeper bias that goes with that. Here's a small one that gets a lot of newer people in crypto. People think that if you can get whole units of something, you're going to equal more profit. So the broke way of looking at this is, why bother buying Bitcoin or Ethereum when I could get what does Crypto Shady have? 400 million Shiba Inu. If Shiba hits $1 one day, I'm halfway to $1 billion. Not after taxes and stuff, you wouldn't be. But the whole units bias means you're likely to favor purchases, often subconsciously, that give you more units. When really, you want to look at the total market cap, the current price, the token supply, and the expected growth. So while I have a tiny amount of Bitcoin, 0.03 Bitcoin, hell, thanks for the super chat. Thank you for the first super chat of the day, Kel's Legacy. Did I even get close on that? Kel's Legacy? Try two, maybe one of those pronunciations got it right. Thank you for the first super chat of the stream. So if you're a millionaire mindset, you value your investments based on the total market cap, current price, token supply, and expected growth. Not just on, if this reaches $1, I'm gonna be a millionaire. You wouldn't believe how easy that is to do psychologically either. Now, of course, this is educational material. This is from my own lessons. You can go be broke and biased or maybe get rich doing the exact opposite of this. That's your experience. That's what's fun about life. Number 4 is a huge bias, and this is one of the things that stops most people currently from even buying crypto in the first place. And most people aren't even consciously aware of this. But this is number 4. Losing hurts more than winning. The broke person will say crypto's risky and I won't invest, or the market's down so I'll wait to buy until it goes even lower, or I'll wait till prices are going up and then I'll buy because I'm scared to buy now and lose money. Whereas the millionaire mindset is, I love buying when markets are down because that's where profits are made. In our human psychology, our minds are programmed to weigh negative information heavier than positive information. So like at Alcoholics Anonymous, I'd have all these people that give me hugs and be happy to see me, and my mind would often focus on the one person who said no to giving me a hug, didn't seem happy to see me, and not interested at all in what I have to say. And my mind would often fixate on them, especially in my first few years of sobriety. And this makes sense prehistorically. Like if you got humans living out on the land, going off hunting, you would want to be extra sensitive to danger signs. Hey, there's a pack of wolves that are approaching the tribe. Doesn't matter if there's lots of beautiful women and food and the sky looks nice, we should prioritize these pack of wolves that may be about to kill us. Well, that old programming means that we're too sensitive to losing money. For example, I once did a video showing how I would spend a ton of time checking my credit card bills to make sure I never got overcharged on anything. Meanwhile, and the potential savings very small. I only ever found a couple of small errors. Meanwhile, I would spend no time looking at investing and learning how to actually take my money, invest it, and get more money that way. Because I was so focused on I don't want to lose or nobody's going to take anything from me, rather than how can I actually invest and get people to just give me more. So remember this bias. This bias will often stop you from investing in the first place. This is the number one thing people who aren't in crypto are struggling with. They're too hung up on the risk, but thankfully the banking system is making it obvious your money is not safe in the bank and governments are constantly stealing from you through inflation. Crypto is a good deal by comparison. Let's go over to the next one. You get excited. Crypto Shady says, I get excited when I see red. That's what you want to do. When you see red, that's the time to buy. And like I've loaded up on Bitcoin and Ethereum the last few months, and now that they've pumped 30%, well, let me buy some other stuff that hasn't pumped quite as much. What's up, Armzilla? Nice to see you. Lisa, thanks for getting those likes up there. Number 5, this is chasing losses. The broke person will say, now that my shitcoin is down 50%, I'll buy even more to make up for losses. And what you'll notice is these biases often compound on each other. So if you go back to losing hurts more than winning, whole units equal more profit, confirmation bias, this is where you get in big trouble when you start to put multiple of these biases together. So let's say you bought into some just garbage project. Like if you showed the project to me, I'd immediately tell you this is a garbage project. So let's say you bought into that and then you're down 50%. Your confirmation bias is kicking in, just saying everybody else is wrong. You're not even looking. Then you buy more just because you're so sure, like I was with Steam, that it's going to go back up and it's going to reach all-time highs. The millionaire investor, the way to build wealth is to look each day at the current situation regardless of your portfolio's valuation. So I start fresh with a new mind every day and look at the market and say, what is the best thing I can buy today? And after I finish this presentation, I'll tell you what I bought today. And here's a hint, it's something I already bought before, or we would have done a dedicated video about it. So instead of chasing your losses in an already bad investment, if something's down 50%, it's a good chance to research it and see, is this as good as I initially thought it was? And maybe it's an opportunity to buy something else. Or it could just mean somebody dumped and this is your chance to make a profit. But you gotta always check these and be aware of these, that you're not just chasing losses, because this is how things really pile up. So next bias, number 6. And this is one that, especially on crypto YouTube, is a heavy-handed bias. We think attention equals value. People constantly pump the same. Obviously, there's a ton of talk about Bitcoin and Ethereum. But outside that, things like Gala Games get endlessly pumped. Things, Quant, I've been seeing a ton of Quant videos, lots of Algorand videos. lots of XRP videos. Now, I own all those except Quan currently. There's certain projects that get tons of traffic if you just talk about them. So lots of crypto YouTubers, myself included, have just talked about things and even bought them just to get some of those views coming in. Now, I am aware of this bias though, which is why I only have put $50 out of about 4,500 into Gala Games. That's a small part of my portfolio. All these crypto YouTubers constantly pumping how great Gala Games is are right, well then I'm gonna turn that 50 into maybe 5,000. But if they're wrong, I'm only gonna lose 50. It's gonna be a really small mistake. There's no way I would put a big amount of my bag into Gala Games. Because to me, it seems that the big Gala Games and Shiba, Hex, a lot of these are into this bias pretty deeply, that attention equals value. Just because people are talking about it and thinking about it, that there's some underlying value. And a lot of these new coins that launch are just blatant scams, but they pump them up on the charts, people start paying attention to them, people do videos on them, and all of a sudden, there's all this attention on a worthless project that has no future, or that already is overhyped, that has a future, but the speculation has driven it way up higher than it really should be. Like, I certainly hope Gala Games does well. It seems like its value is much higher than what it really has to offer at this point. A couple of games that are nothing special and a lot of promises, but very little deliverables. So the broke person looks at this and thinks, man, everyone's talking about this new coin, it must be great. And then looks at things like Bitcoin and Ethereum, says these are boring, I can't be bothered, nobody's making videos about these, I won't get multipliers. When some of the biggest gains in my portfolio right now are on boring old Bitcoin and Ethereum. I'll show you my portfolio at the end of this. If you're of the millionaire mindset, what I like to do is find cryptos people were really hyped up on in the past that haven't got as much attention lately, that actually have a valuable project, like Internet Computer Protocol. That got a ton of hype at one point. That was all over the place. And now it's not right now one of those projects that people consistently shill on crypto YouTube. So that's why I've loaded up on that recently, because it has actual value. It's really working. It's a game-changing technology, and there's not a lot of attention and hype on Internet Computer Protocol right now. And if the attention and hype comes in and the price 10x's, I'll probably buy something else at that point. So I'm looking for stuff that's kind of getting less attention than it deserves, and I want to get in before all that attention comes down there. Now, here's number 7. This is the winning streak bias. And this one personally cost me $9,000 last year just on this. And I'm holding Gala. I hope it does 100x. I'm holding Shiba. I hope it goes to $1. I'm not holding Hex, but Joe Paris has so much of it that I hope it does really well for him, because he's going to be a decamillionaire if his Hex goes through the roof. I hope all these projects succeed, because all these projects are better than US dollars. And I hope money pours into all of them. And this is where you got to have some kind of objective calculations that go beyond your biases. Where we're going to get to I should have put that other one up in the front, but let's look at number 7. Number 7 is the winning streak. So the broke person that actually gets lucky on a trade feels now unstoppable. Like last year, when my financial mindset was going towards the lowest it's been in a few years, I made $15,000 out of 300. I bought 300 of this tiny brand new crypto project, sold out that 300 into 15,000. And I just felt, even after 8 years at that point in crypto, that I was on a winning streak. So I started buying into all kinds of stuff. I bought into Shiba Inu. I put more into, like 100 or more into Shiba Inu last year. I put 3 or 4 grand into Crypto.com at 40 cents. And I put tens of thousands into other cryptos. I bought an entire Bitcoin at one point last year for 19,000, which seems like a pretty good move at this point, but when it went down to 16, didn't look so good. when you actually have a trade that sometimes the only reason you made money on that was because of luck. You just got lucky. Like with me giving the Robert Janito $300, I mean, in a lot of other scenarios, I would have just lost that $300. I kind of got lucky that my 300 turned into 15 grand, and then I did not get lucky. I lost 9,000 in crypto the rest of the year and only came out with a 6 grand profit. And that's what helped me get into the millionaire mindset. When I win big in one project, I take the profits that will eventually be reinvested across the rest of my portfolio, and I stick with a dollar cost averaging strategy. When a lot of you have probably made this mistake, as soon as you win on something, you start getting heavy-handed and putting bigger and bigger amounts. Whereas if you hadn't had that big, it's like when I used to gamble. I used to play poker online in 2003, 4, 5, 2006. I played a ton of poker online. And I used to just play $5 or $10 heads-up games. Or I'd buy into a tournament for $5 or $10. That way, I never lost more than like $50, $100 in one night, because I'd play all these small games. I didn't have time to lose that much money, which was great when I was in college and I was broke. Then what happened in 2005, I played a $10 poker tournament and I got second place. I won $1,000 while drinking all night. So now I had never had more than like 100 or 200 on a poker website. Now I get this $1,000. Now I feel like I'm a big shot. Now I start buying into bigger and bigger games. Now I can handle the $20 heads up, the rebuying $100 into a tournament. And that's when the big losses started to pile up, like starting to lose several $100s in one night. I gave back all my gambling winnings and much more, and it was that first big win, and I won the exact same tournament again, and it didn't even make up for all my losses. So it wasn't just luck. I won that same tournament twice. Got second once, first another time out of thousands of people. But the winning streak got me into more trouble than it brought in gains. So let's take a look at the next one. Now this is, if you've been in crypto a while, this is the bias that is likely most toxic to you. And remember how these add on to each other. When you combine this with confirmation bias, this is when you really get destroyed. And this is the broke person. Every crypto I own is going to the moon and all other projects are going to zero. Now that might seem like an extreme, but every time I make a video or comment on something that people have and are really passionate about, they can't stand my analysis saying that, you know what, I think Hex on Ethereum's going to zero. Like, that's just how it looks to me. I don't have a bias. Like, I'm trying to decide if this is a good investment or not. If it's good, I'm gonna buy it and get in, but it doesn't look good to me. And every Hex holder is like, you're wrong, you suck, mine's going to the moon, I'm sure of it. And this is because we tend to value things we have more and value stuff we don't have less. Now, if you are of the millionaire mindset, you take the outlook that I invest in projects with the most potential and keep looking for new projects that may have more potential than what I already have. I've got sucked into this bias hard on multiple different cryptos, and the value of a diversified portfolio is you start to feel like the whole ecosystem is yours. You start to, the more I've got, like, I don't know, 40 or 50 different cryptos right now, and the more I buy, this starts to not even be an issue. Like, I can be very critical of Gala Games because I also have some. I'm not under the delusion that just because I bought Gala Games one day that it's gonna moon. Because I've looked at what's happened in the past, a lot of the stuff I've bought has tanked. And I want to buy the best things. Just because I have almost 1,000 in Bitcoin, almost 1,000 in Ethereum now, does not mean they're going to do well. It's important I stay objective all the time and watch out for, as soon as I buy something, I now think it's better. And if you combine that with confirmation bias, you'll outright reject any other information. This is why it's, yes, it does sound exactly like Michael Saylor. And when I was a Bitcoin maximalist, I listened heavily to Michael Saylor. And this is how all these biases snowball together. You'll tend to listen to people who just reinforce what you already think, and you'll tend to not want to hear anybody who doesn't reinforce what you already think. It's important to hear people who disagree with what you think so that you can expand your mind. Because if you can handle both points of view, like Bitcoin sucks and it's an old dinosaur, you shouldn't even have any of it, Ethereum's the future, versus like a Michael Saylor, it's all Bitcoin, everything else is a shitcoin. Like, okay, well, if you can hear both of those points of view, then you're in a position to make a really good decision. But if you can't stand to hear any alternative point of view, then you're very vulnerable to getting manipulated. And we've seen that in all kinds of world affairs. This is the same bias people run into, like, my country's better. I have no illusion that the United States is better or worse than any other country. If I could get a better deal in some other country and get my family to go with me, I absolutely would go. I don't have any attachment to this country. It's just a piece of land. It's just a group of people, and whoever's gonna treat me and my family the best, I'll move there. The mine is better delusion stops a lot of us from having some, and this can be with toxic relationships too. You get into a relationship with someone that everyone else thinks is horrible, but you stay because yours is better. Well, this is a bias to be aware of. Now, you're probably never going to be perfect at resisting these. Like, the more I buy Internet Computer Protocol, the more I want to buy more of it because of the mine is better bias. However, a diversified portfolio will help you not get sucked into this completely. All right, let's go to the next one. Number 9 is outliers. So you hear so many stories in crypto, like about this one guy who turned $17 of Shiba Inu into millions. And then you think, I can do that too. And this is where you need to step back and be more objective. The millionaire mindset looks at most people who've bought Shiba Inu have taken a loss. The majority of buyers bought it higher than it is today and have less than they put in. That's the objective truth. If you look at the charts, most of the people who bought are down from where it's at now. However, that's not as interesting of a story, and I have some Shiba Inu. As I've said, it's not as interesting to think about as the guy who bought 17 bucks and turned it into millions. Now, some of these cryptos, especially, the stories you hear are insider trading too. I just watched BitBoy Crypto's video about Shiba Inu, and it looks like this was intentionally pumped up just to, along with all the other FTX, Alameda garbage. Like, this was one of those cryptos pumped up through their kind of ecosystem of pumps and dumps. And that unfortunately is very common. Like, there's another way. So outliers means it's not what usually happens. And we tend to focus on outliers too much. For example, you're shown all these examples of outliers for like millionaires. You're shown all these millionaires who spend tons of money and live these lavish lifestyles, but that's not what regular millionaires do. Regular millionaires is the guy who lives next door to you, who looks boring, who doesn't have any lavish lifestyle. He's put into his retirement portfolio every month. You probably figure he's broke as hell, and based on his car and his house that's next to yours, when really he's sitting on a net worth of 2 million and you're sitting on a net worth of 0. You don't even realize that dude's a millionaire. That's a normal millionaire. But our culture encourages us to focus on these outliers, these unusual millionaires who don't behave like regular millionaires. Same thing with like this bias is also like the Brad Pitt story. Brad Pitt went to Los Angeles and was a waiter and then ended up becoming a very celebrated actor and celebrity. Well, most people who've went to LA and waited tables and tried to be actors and actresses have not succeeded. It hasn't worked out for them. That's normal. Outliers, though, and even, someone like me is an outlier. Most people who've created YouTube videos and done live streams have not made a career out of it. I'm unusual. I'm unusual that I've been able to do this for 10 years without having 11 years now, without having any kind of real job, and that no matter what I do, it ends up working. Either I do something until it works, or I find, I quit things that aren't working. So the outliers is important to remember. Okay, so somebody in the past turned $17 of Shiba Inu into millions, but am I going to turn $17 of Shiba Inu today into millions? Probably not. But you might be able to buy some other coin and turn that into millions. All right, number 10, we got a couple of more, and then we will bust into questions and what I bought today. What's up, Wings? Nice to see you. Excel, Crypto Shady's been hanging out. Joe Gut, Gary AP, thanks a lot. Kells, appreciate the videos. I hope some of these coins are in for big moves. I personally am not into technical analysis. Technical analysis to me is just great at showing what things happened in the past might happen again. But it's not well prepared to deal with things that are unexpected. Or some people love technical analysis. If I see a YouTube video and it's technical analysis, I immediately, I scroll through to make sure it's not technical analysis. However, if technical analysis works for you, then go for it. Number 10, cool story. So here's a recent one. The broke person's like, oh my God, AI coins are pumping. I better get some before they're all sold out. The millionaire looks at it and says, AI coins are overvalued because almost no quality AI coin projects exist. Meanwhile, speculators have driven up all the ones that do have a little bit of potential. I'm gonna wait on the AI narrative to die down, and then I'll jump in on some of these AI projects. Guess I'll turn the air conditioner on since they're right in my window. What's up, Jiminy, Richard, Monic? Nice to see you today. So human beings are wired to pay a lot of attention to stories, which is a problem when it comes to crypto investing especially. It means narratives and ideas are likely to suck you into something that's not even a good investment. Like I just reviewed an obvious scam crypto called Social AI. It blatantly is capitalizing directly on the AI narrative and the idea that social media with AI would be awesome, when the fact is the founder is a total scam artist who put a cheap little WordPress website up, couldn't even decide how to spell Social AI with a dash or without a dash, and then calls his DApp $120 WordPress social media theme. Like blatant, obvious scam to me, who's been in this game for quite a while. Easy to spot scam for me, but humans wired into narratives, looks like there's almost 1,000 people that have bought this obvious scam coin. Literally, they saw Social AI, thought of the AI narrative, and then just bought, probably without hardly doing any other research on it. Maybe check the website, didn't even see that the website obviously was poorly done. Check the Twitter followers, didn't see that they were obviously bought. And then, last time I checked, there were 500-600 holders, and there's probably, unfortunately, more now. So and then how many people bought and then sold and realized what they did. We get too hung up on narratives, and I did myself. I bought Dogecoin off of the narrative that maybe Elon Musk would integrate that in with Twitter, without thoroughly looking into the value of Dogecoin as an investment. I seriously doubt I would ever buy Dogecoin again after doing further research on it. But I bought Dogecoin just 3 months ago purely off of narrative. So whenever you hear a narrative, take your time to really do the research. Don't just buy off of a cool story. Over to number 11. And I know I celebrate those of you that were holding AI tokens before they pumped. WingSafe says Viot AI turned my $2,000 into $15,000. That's awesome. And as I suggested earlier, if I get any huge wins in my portfolio, I'm going to rebalance it so that I'm not overcommitted into one area. If, for example, let's say one of the cryptos I buy 100x's within the next year, and then the question is, would I buy this would I put 5,000 into this if I was investing today? And if the answer is no, it's time to sell and redistribute that across the portfolio. Now, number 11, Grandpa Rock, thanks for the sub. Number 11, I called this crowd pleaser, but this one really is about you follow the crowd. Everyone's selling now. The broke person over the last year especially says, everyone's selling now, so I better sell too before the bottom comes. Basically, you're just following the herd, and wherever the herd's going, you're going too. When you've got a millionaire mindset, you see everyone selling, and this means it can be a great opportunity to buy. Like when Bitcoin dumped down to 16,000, I had given up on crypto, and Bitcoin went so low that I'm like, all right, I have to buy now and get back into crypto. Like, this is nuts. When everybody else was at maximum fear, my greed kicks in. I'm like, all right, y'all are all terrified. Now's my chance to profit. And when all of you are full of greed and euphoric, that's when I'm going to take my profits because I know it'll turn. So human emotion goes ups and downs. People get fearful, and then they get greedy. Fearful, greedy. Fearful, greedy. If you're going to invest successfully, you need to be able to detect where's the sentiment at now and often run to the opposite of it. Right now, people are getting greedy on Bitcoin and buying, and I don't want to buy more Bitcoin. I bought a little more Bitcoin, $50 like a few days ago. I've got enough Bitcoin today. That's why I bought Bitcoin a bunch over the last few months. Now when people are buying it and all excited about it again, I'm holding and watching my holdings go up. And when Bitcoin, if my Bitcoin 100x's, I might start taking some of that off the table and redistributing it. So you got to be aware of whether you're just going along with the crowd or not. And again, this is where all these other biases snowball together. You get hooked in with the crowd, you buy something that everybody else is buying, now you think it's better because you haven't, now your confirmation bias kicks in, you're not listening to anybody saying the opposite, and then you get wrecked and blame it on everybody else. When really, you did that. Alright, so we got 3 more, and then we'll dive deep into questions and reviewing cryptos. Thank you for getting us up to 33 likes. Number 12 is something that's easy to understand. You will tend to invest in and like better than something that's more complicated. Like the broke person looks at Internet Computer Protocol and is being like, what is that? I don't get it. And sure, I look at stuff and I don't get it immediately either. Now, as long as I've been in this and as much as I do, there are some projects that just don't explain the value they offer very well. And there's a lot of projects that are just copy and paste of other projects. And that's what makes this so challenging. So often the broke person will look at something like in 2016, I looked at Ethereum and I'm like, smart contracts, who cares about that? I don't see the value of that. And yeah, well, that went up quite a bit, didn't it? Whereas easy to understand projects, you'll have a bias towards those, like the next dog coin. So many of you have asked me about all these meme coins like Baby Doge, Volt. I'm like, these are easy to understand. It's a meme coin. Or gaming. Gaming coins are easy to understand on the surface. Like, ooh, this is a play to earn game. Everybody's going to want to play the game. This is going to pump. Well, no, really, it has horrible tokenomics. Gaming is brutal, and this is probably going to be a total loss for almost all investors. There's things that sound very easy to understand on the surface, and you're more likely to want to buy those because the complicated projects, like I've been researching quant. I've watched so many videos about quant, and it's kind of difficult to really see all the value of quant, but I'm just putting it together. I think I'm going to buy some quant soon, but quant has been harder for me to buy because it's harder to exactly understand what does this do? Whereas the millionaire mindset is to often invest in projects that are not that easy to explain, but provide a lot of value to the world in what they do, such as Internet Computer Protocol. Robbie, thanks for the sub on my main channel. Nice. So Bitcoin was not easy to explain or understand at all when I first bought it. But I bought it because I could see that this would provide a ton of value to the world. That this is something fundamentally different. especially when I started, I didn't quite get how any of it worked. I held all my Bitcoin on Coinbase because I didn't understand why I shouldn't. And I didn't get hardly anything except I could see this could make a huge difference in the world. All right, 2 more biases, then we'll go into questions and reviews. So this is kind of the winning streak and the lucky. These go hand in hand heavily. So the broke person sometimes will just get lucky buying something, some total shitcoin that will 100x because a bunch of other naive, uninformed people just blundered into it, or because there's been some artificial pump on it. And sometimes there's nothing else to attribute it to besides luck. Like, you literally got lucky on this. It wasn't good research. It was a bad investment, but it just happened to work out because these other things happened. And the bad thing is when you get lucky, you often think, well, I should do that exact same thing again. Like, if you just randomly threw into a project, like I just randomly threw into the project where I turned 300 to 15,000, that was lucky. I mean, I could try and tell you that that was great research and I knew the founder and I believed in the project. No, I literally got tired of this guy asking me for money, so I gave him $300 so he'd shut up and go away. And I figured, you know, worst case I'm gonna lose 300, best case this could 100x for me, and it 50x'd, but that was lucky. If I would have thrown into 100 other projects like that, I'd have probably lost in 98 of them and had 1 or 2 others that actually did well. So the millionaire mindset to me is you place investments where the odds are in the favor of a strong outcome. Realizing that if I consistently invest in quality projects, if I'm aware of these biases, sometimes I will get lucky, sometimes I will get unlucky, but really that almost has nothing to do with me. It's up to me to pick the best projects to invest in. Some of them will fail for basically unlucky reasons. Others of them will fail for, or others of them will succeed for the same kind of random reasons. So let's look at this last one. This last one especially want you to consider for me and anybody else you watch. A lot of us as humans are wired to just follow the leader. That some of us, a very few of us are leaders. I mean, I'm hardwired to, I'm a leader. I have a very hard time following anybody else. I'm of the, you know, I'm gonna do what I know is right to do or what I want to do, and others should follow me or get out of the way. But a lot of you especially are challenged with this. You know, if Jerry buys something, I bought $50 of something one day and somebody says, Jerry, I saw you bought this. I bought $10,000 of that. I'm like, oh my God. Like, no, I didn't tell you to buy any of it. I don't think buying 10,000 of that is a good idea. I put $50 into this today, kind of on a whim. I'm going to buy 15 to whatever 50 times 365 is, like 18,000. I'm going to buy 18 or so $1,000 of crypto this year. But I'm gonna put in 50 a day. I'm not gonna throw in 10 grand to any one project unless I buy that one project for 200 out of 365 days. And this is why it's so easy on crypto YouTube to, if you've got a following, to just put a video up, buy something, put a video up, tell them how great it is, all the zombie followers buy, and then you sell high. And unfortunately, that is very tempting. I got into that when I first started crypto out, and I realized, wow, I can just buy something, tell everybody how great it is, then I'll change my mind. Like, I thought I was changing my mind. Like, I'd buy something and be like, this Dash is the next Bitcoin. It's gonna be #1. The master nodes, the privacy. And then once the price goes up, you know, once I made my 77 grand in it in a few months, I'm like, you know what? This sucks. I was wrong about it. And from my point of view, it felt honest. But then stepping back and doing that repeatedly, I'm like, oh, that was dishonest. Like, I encouraged everybody to buy something, and then I changed my mind. I mean, it felt like I was being honest and changing my mind from my point of view. But when I used to drink and tell everybody I was getting sober and then change my mind and drink again, it felt like I was being honest and other people were being unreasonable. But from everybody else's point of view, it looked like I was being dishonest. And most crypto YouTubers have not been in this as long as I have and have had this kind of experience. And a lot of them are sucked into promoting these shit coins, pumping and dumping, telling you about stuff they'd never buy themselves. And this is why you want to be very aware. Even my videos, if I buy $50 of something, that is not encouragement to put 10 grand into it. Now, if I buy $50 of something 200 days in a row, then maybe you could consider it. But, you know, you gotta watch out for this authority figure mindset. And especially in things like government, the president is just another person in my mind. Not special, not worthy of any kind of, you know, consideration. They're just another person, often more screwed up than the average person is. So you got to be aware of this authority figure bias, and especially when you see several people, like if you watch me and Joe Paris and Superman Crypto and all of us buy something, that's like a critical mass of everybody's buying it. Because if you mainly watch the three of us, you know, Superman and Joe are two of my favorite crypto YouTubers. If all of us buy something like that, even if it's not conscious, it's on a subconscious, like, hey, these guys all bought this, it must be good. Well, it might be, it might not be. This is why you gotta look inside and be your own leader. Take responsibility for your own decisions. And I love what Joe Paris said, like, cause I talked him up on buying Steem, and he bought $80-some thousand of Steem and lost almost all of it. And he said, it's not your fault. I listened to you and to others. I did the research. I decided to buy it high. I decided to sell it low. That was my responsibility. So the opposite of following the leader is taking responsibility. Sure, you can consider what I'm doing, consider what other people are doing, but it's your responsibility where you put your money. Crypto Shady says, I refuse to shill something I don't believe in. Well, I've noticed these biases still affect me. I'm teaching myself this just as much as I'm teaching you. And I've done this today because I want to make sure I'm more aware of these biases. And I love with putting 50 a day in, it's not enough to... I see that sometimes, let me show you what I bought today and the crypto buys I've made. So I bought more Internet Computer for the third day in a row. I've put 150 in the last 3 days into Internet Computer. Bought it 3 days in a row. I bought it 2 days in a row up here. Internet Computer is now my third biggest holding after Bitcoin and Ethereum. So if you look at, this is my, it didn't refresh properly. Maybe it'll refresh properly this time. So Internet Computer is now there. It did refresh. It's my third biggest holding. I've got 900 in Ethereum, almost 900 in Bitcoin, and I have 300 in Internet Computer. At this rate, I'm going to get Internet Computer up here on par with these two. But notice that nothing is more than 20% of my portfolio right now. I noticed that I easily can get sucked into buying something. Like if I had to start this portfolio over, I would not buy Affinity because of the buy and sell tax. I would not buy that again. But I'm not going to sell it unless it 20x's in and I've held it over a year. Because if I put into something, I'm going to just eat a fat loss on it if I'm wrong about it. I might not have bought Zen. I might have just minted Zen instead of buying it. But, you know, I noticed that sometimes I get caught up in hype. Like Blurt, I bought Blurt. This looked really cool, but this is my worst return right now on what I've bought. I noticed that on individual days, I can often get sucked into something that's not very good. But I will rarely buy something repeatedly that's not very good. Like Cypherium, I wouldn't buy this again. This looks like it has a partnership with FedNow. There's lots of up and down, negative and positive, ugly on this one. I probably would not buy this again. Like Superman shared about this. Joe Paris shared about this. I mean, this, I'm up. I've got a 3x on this, but I probably wouldn't buy it again. And I'm not selling it unless I can turn, and if this says $1,000, and it's a year from now, I might unload it and put it into other stuff. But you'll notice the things I've bought repeatedly tend to be a lot higher quality projects. Ethereum, Bitcoin, Internet Computer. Hello, I'm thinking about buying this again, even though the price is 5 times higher than when I bought it. XRP, Cardano, Immutable X. I've actually only bought this once, but I've got that on other ones. So some of these, I wouldn't buy Aptos again. There's too much supply on it. I bought Hedera twice, BNB, Sunday Swap. The more I research, and if I buy something once and I'm thinking about buying it again, I research it even more. All right, now for Internet Computer, I did not research it anymore from yesterday. But between the first time I bought Internet Computer and the second time I bought it, and between the second series of 2 and the third series, I continued to research it and look at it more and more. Like I bought Jasmy once, but if I was gonna buy Jasmy again, I would need to do new research. And the first time I buy something, it can be a bit euphoric. Hey, this is gonna pump. Maybe Jasmy will go to $1 or whatever. But if I'm gonna buy it a second time, I'm gonna double down on my research and I'm gonna try harder to find reasons not to buy something a second time, which often means I don't buy things a second time. So this is why I love making a decision every day on what to buy, because this allows me to really do more research over time instead of, I've dumped 10 Bitcoin into projects that I didn't spend nearly enough time researching. So that's been a very valuable lesson. All right, the family's home. I'll go through and take some questions now. Yes, do your own research. I hope this has encouraged you. You need to do more research than you think you need to do. I've bought things before. I mean, I've put thousands into things before, like Crypto.com. Now, I've bought that twice in the last few months. And I'm down $8 on it, just as I went down 3,000 on the initial buy. I put 4,000 into Crypto.com with less research than I put into Internet Computer Protocol. So let that sink in. Now, I've bought $300 of Internet Computer Protocol. And last year, I put almost $4,000 into Crypto.com. And I did less research on a $4,000 investment than I've done on a $300 one today. You lost money on Burr? Boston, what do you think about, all right, y'all are coming in with them. All right, let me shout you out and we'll start some crypto reviews on here. Thank you for the 43 likes and average watch time of 6 minutes. I appreciate the time you spend here. Crypto Shady says, you've opened my eyes to some new ways to view investing. Thank you for letting me know that. That's why I do these streams. Lisa asked me yesterday, she said, Jerry, if you could just go back and have your 60 Bitcoin back and not sell it. If I had 60 Bitcoin, do the math on that. That would put me well over $1 million on my way to $2 million. If I had just held the 60 Bitcoin and literally done nothing else, just held on to the 60 Bitcoin I had, even DCA'd into, maybe kept DCAing, I'd have millions. She said, if you could just do that and not do all the other stuff you did, would you do that? And I said no, because I couldn't teach you what I know now about investing. And I've learned all this about investing now because of all the mistakes I've made. Thank you for the subscription, Hussein Khan. And because of all the mistakes and all the stuff I've done, now I've got things to teach you. But if I had just done it right from the very beginning, what would I have to say to you? All I'd have to say to you is find stuff that's great, buy it and hold on to it, and don't be an idiot. Like, that's all I'd have to say to you, and you wouldn't be able to relate with that. But when I show you all these biases and all these ways I've went wrong in investing, well, now you're like, okay, well, I understand you. So let me look at some of these cryptos you're suggesting, and we'll head on out of here. So the first thing, the general research process I'm about to show you is, the first thing that you want to do is, if something's like a mainstream crypto, then check that on CoinMarketCap, and you can often do your research there on Explorers. If something is like outside the top 100 especially, check it on Dex Tools and get to know it better today. So let's go through some of these. Let's go. So Hello, I'm going to do a dedicated video on Hello soon. I'm going to buy more Hello. I talked about Hello several times recently. So one of the first things I check if I'm going to invest in a website or a crypto is the website. Like Social AI, I spotted quickly that that was a scam because it had a website that probably cost less than $500. Now this website looks like it's pretty well done. It has, like, the first thing that struck me, like, this is a well done website. And then the Killer Whale Show, like, this is a very logical and easy to understand, although that could fall into the easy to understand bias. You can picture, so Killer Whales is a show upcoming that's basically going to be like Shark Tank for crypto. So this looks like a great project to me. So on a project like this that's outside the top 500, the first thing you want to do to make sure it's not a crap project is you can take the contract, copy the contract, and put the contract into Dex Tools. This is how you know you've gotten the correct token and you've not gotten, you know, the wrong one. And then from Dex Tools, you can go in here and look at some details. Now this is a proxy contract, which makes it harder to look at, and the community trust is pretty negative on this one, which is interesting. The proxy contract is a big negative on this one. There's no buy and sell text though, which is nice. So, you know, you can do your research from here. You can look up the website, the Telegram, the Twitter, see how many followers. One thing I've liked to do now is see if Twitter followers have been purchased. So the main way you can see if Twitter followers have been purchased is to check the engagement. So I did follow for follow, and I bought Twitter followers back in like the early 2010s, 2011, 2012, because that's what you did back then if you wanted to just blow up right away and impress people with your fake followers. Well, I started a new Twitter profile so that I was tired of wondering how many real followers I had and seeing people call out my fake follower engagement. So now I've got 547 legit followers. Like, I just made a new account, told everybody about it, and you can see my posts get anywhere from like 20 to 40% engagement, and then some of them do more than my own followers going out to organic traffic, retweets, etc. So that's kind of a baseline. Like, if you've got organic followers, you should be hitting between 10% and like 50% impressions if you've got real followers. So you can look and see if people have got real followers on these projects or not. You can check, to me, if a project's bought Twitter followers or like paid and promoted to artificially inflate their followers, that's a really bad sign. If they're willing to fake their Twitter followers, they're willing to do other things to you also. Mel says, thank you for your honesty. I've found the number one thing we need to do if we want to make a better world is be honest, be transparent. And I know that's scary, and I know that's hard, and for me, that saved my life. I couldn't handle, you know, as an alcoholic, lying, cheating, you know, being dishonest was a way of life for me that I just took for granted, and the only way I was able to get sober, stay sober, and have a great life is to get honest. And I see the honesty I share in the world gets picked up and done by others. I'm seeing, you know, the Twitter has been a wave of honesty. You know, a lot of things on Twitter that have been shared. Yeah, like Elon Musk buying Twitter and encouraging all these things to be shared that have been kept secret. I think one of the best things we can do for the world is be honest, be transparent ourselves. Now, Hello Labs looks like they have legit Twitter followers. So this is a really good sign for this project. Like March 6th here, this thing 32,000 impressions, and you've got 55,000 followers. Like, this looks like it's a quality project with a real community. Let me compare that to Obvious Scam. Can I even find this Obvious Scam? Oh, did they block me? I think they blocked me, guys. Alright, they blocked me. Well, I showed some yesterday that had hundreds of thousands of followers that didn't have this much engagement. So general research process, and maybe I'll do a video on this. You want to check DEX tools if you can. Check how many holders there are. Like this has 8,700 holders for a $22 million market cap. So if you whip the calculator out, let's call it 23 for rounding. One more zero. So you're looking at, this is $2,600 per holder right now. That's a nice number to check to get an idea. Now Zen would be like, 50 cents a holder or something like that. So you can't get stuck on one metric. But if you see something's like $50,000, $100,000 for one holder, that's often an indication it's not very good. So this project, to me, I'm thinking of buying some more of it and doing a dedicated video. Today, I really wanted to do this presentation and buy more ICP. But either, I'm thinking of buying Hello or Quant next over one of the next 2 days. So this to me looks like a very high quality project. This to me looks like I want to buy more of it, even though it's already one of the biggest positions in my portfolio. The market cap it's at, it looks like it could do great. But would I want to all in on this project and have more than 20% of my portfolio in it? No. If this project 100x's and I end up with like thousands in this project, I'm going to sell and put it into other stuff. So this is an example of how I review currencies. Lisa, nice to see you today. Crypto Shady says you took over 5K losses, then you decided to do your own research and now you're up 10K. Doing your research is the difference between having a lot of losses and a lot of gains. And most people don't want to do the research. I mean, this is a lot to learn. It can be scary to try and humbling to look at it and be, the moment you realize, I don't even know how to research a crypto project properly, that's when you're in to make some big breakthroughs and some solid investments. All right, let's take a look. I'll take a look. Armzilla, let's take a look at Aurora. When you realize Aurora, is it Aurora Finance? Which one? It's a layer 2 on Near, so we can Google layer 2 on Near. When you realize, I don't even know how to properly research a project. That's when you're about ready to make some big gains. Glad I don't have any sketchy searches in here. Google would have just shown that off, wouldn't it? All right, so what are we searching? Near layer 2. All right, Aurora Network. Aurora, all right, which... All right, so it's just Aurora. All right. It should just be the first one then, right? Let's take a look at this. All right, here it is. So this is a Near layer 2. Let's check. So first thing, let's check. All right, the fully diluted market cap's 200 and some million. This is immediately problematic, and I'll give you a little hint. Most of the stuff you all ask about, I think, is crap. One, because most of the time I don't have it already, so that bias does kick in. But two, most crypto projects are crap. Like, at best, they're a startup company, and at worst, they're a blatant scam. So, immediate problems I see with this project. Near is currently a $1.8 billion market cap. So you're looking at, this is a layer 2 on Near with a 200 million fully diluted market cap. So this, to me, the first impression I get is that this probably is accurately valued. Like, if you buy it today and hold it and it keeps getting diluted, you're probably gonna barely break even over time. Maybe it'll have a big pump one day, but it'll probably come back down too. So my first impression is Near protocol, just buying that itself. I have some Near. I've bought Near twice, but after seeing Internet Computer Protocol, it's so good. All right, so this is a nice website. I like Aurora has a quality website here. So next, let's check their Twitter. Let's see if they bought followers or not. So they have 115K followers. First guess is they did buy followers. God, it's annoying being right sometimes. Like some of y'all, some of the people on my Hex review, you know, are so like, you're so wrong, you're so wrong. I'm like, I hope so, because I'm right a lot of the time. And maybe from confirmation bias, I ignore when I'm wrong. I find it very interesting when I'm wrong, because being right's freaking boring. It's boring to be right. This is not trustworthy because they've bought followers. Either that or their community's completely disengaged. Remember what I said before? This has an impression rate of 1 or 2%. So if you look at this, 3,000 views. Well, they shared this. All right, here's one. All right, this is a dev update. 1,400 impressions. Hey, Superman, I want to thank Superman is in the house. Superman is one of my favorite crypto YouTubers. Him and Joe Paris both encouraged me to start a new crypto channel. Superman got me all excited to get back into crypto last year. And Superman you are the exact person I've modeled when people ask me, Jerry, what do you think of this coin? I think, how would Superman review this? And I find just the brutal Superman. If you're not already subscribing, you'll definitely want to watch his videos. I love Superman's live streams. He hasn't done one lately on Twitch, but like my style I'm giving is like the exact same style Superman would just like rip a project on his Twitch. Like somebody be like, what do you think about this? Same kind of thing. Look at a few different metrics and be like, this sucks. This project has faked their Twitter followers, which is really bad. That's a bad sign. That means they're not being authentic. They feel like they're trying to artificially impress you. And I mean, this is obvious they've faked their Twitter followers. Either that or they've paid for a bunch of promotions. Either way, this is artificially inflated. So I'm going to say, I need to make a spreadsheet with all these reviews too, don't I? I need to just start a spreadsheet like with, you know, a yes, no, or maybe. Like Aurora is an absolutely not. They faked their Twitter followers. How many holders do they have? Why is there an Ether scan on this too? Like, it's a near layer 2. Why do we need to have it on Ether also? Yeah, Aurora, absolutely not. Total trash can. Fake their Twitter followers on layer 2 on Near? That doesn't even sound like a good idea to me. Like, you're betting on the Near blockchain to begin with, which is questionable whether that'll get adopted. I'm holding it, but yeah, definitely not on this one. All right, what do you think of Kadena? I did Kadena yesterday. This is why I'm going to get a spreadsheet and I want something I could share. I didn't like Kadena yesterday. I know Superman likes Kadena, and this is why you need to not just listen to one person too. For me, I like that Kadena's proof of work and that it's very fast. I'm questioning whether Kadena is going to get significant adoption though, because this is a brutal ecosystem. You know, there's tons of other stuff that there's tons of things that have DeFi, NFTs, and payments. You know, will this actually get, let's check the Kadena Twitter. Kadena faked the hell out of their Twitter. That's why I ripped it yesterday. Now, they didn't fake it as bad as Aurora. They did not fake it as bad as Aurora, but look at, Kadena has almost as many followers as Richard Hart. Think about that for a second. Almost 300,000 followers. Now, 28,000 impressions. That's less than 10%. So I don't think they bought like maybe more than 100,000 followers, but they definitely have artificially inflated their followers, or the community's not that engaged. Like this post right here, 8,000 impressions. You know, do I need to show you how many Richard gets on his? Richard Hart's. I mean, Richard has 300,000 followers. Now, yes, he's going to have more engaged followers, but still. I mean, Richard cranks out tweets. 300,000 followers, 90,000 impressions. You know, 69,000 impressions. That's what an organically engaged community with 300,000 followers looks like. Now, yes, you know, Kadena is less, but if you have 300K real followers, you're not going to be getting, you know, not even 10,000 impressions on your post. So I don't like cryptos that have inflated their follower counts to try and impress people. So that's a big negative for Kadena in my mind. And the Explorer, you can't even very easily see how many accounts it has. Now, I believe Superman did, when he analyzed this, he did look and see, but I can't see very easily how many people are really using this. I think it only had, I don't know. So Kadena, I'm not interested. See, if Kadena was a micro tiny cap right now, if Kadena was 20 million market cap, 100 million fully diluted, then maybe. But it already is a billion fully diluted, and you don't have most of the circulating supply out. It already is 200 million market cap. This to me is not, it's not where I'd expect it to be. The Twitter followers thing puts me off completely. And so I'm going to say no on Kadena. But this is why you want other people's opinions, because somebody else's opinions might be more useful for you than mine. Superman says that I'm delighted you're back on crypto YouTube. The truth is very rare. Well, I'm glad I found a way to package the truth, because what I've noticed on crypto YouTube is people don't like you to blatantly, you know, dump a negative review on their crypto. So what I'm doing now is trying to like put all the negative reviews inside a positive message. So you see, like the subject to today's stream was, you know, bad crypto investing habits, and here's some good ones, and then I'll go rip a bunch of altcoins I don't like at the end of the stream. Instead of, you know, if I make a video like I did recently saying why I think Hex is going to zero, then all the people holding Hex that follow me get all pissy, and the comments, people like, I used to like you until I saw what you said about Hex, and now it's clear you don't know anything about crypto. I'm like, okay, this is a little confirmation bias for you. So I'm glad I found a way to kind of package these crypto reviews and not just in a way that's palatable. So that's my thoughts on Kadena. What else do we want to look at? Kadena is the second most profitable mining coin. Well, that's good if you're mining it. I'm not mining it, but that is good. Where can I see more about the Kadena community? Let's look at their YouTube. All right, so this YouTube seems like they haven't actually pumped the YouTube. It's got 6,800 subscribers. They're not even putting out new YouTube videos. I mean, their work right now is kind of weak. Like, you seriously, you can't crank out some YouTube videos? Their Twitter has bought followers. They're trying too hard. They're trying too hard. So that's enough of Kadena. I say absolutely not on Kadena. At least at the current price with the current what they've got. I'm open to checking something and looking at it later if things have changed. I need a spreadsheet for these. Where is the spreadsheet? Kadena will take over 100 years for its coin to be minted? That's pretty cool. All right, what else? What else should we look up? What else? I'll look up like one or two more, and then I'm going to go hang out with the family. It's 1 o'clock already? All right, I think we'll duck out shortly. Mel! Thank you. Mel just dropped a $20 super chat. The second super chat of the stream. Thank you for the big super chat, Mel. And thank you to Superman. Superman on Twitch, seeing how supportive his community was on the live streams. I'm like, man, I need to get back to live streaming. And these YouTube live, man, YouTube lives are so good. The only way I get views on my Twitch lives is if Superman would raid me. But on YouTube, the algorithm's just cranking it in. Dogelon Mars is, I don't even need, there's the $20. Let's go, Mel. Mel, thank you very much for the $20 super chat. Biggest super chat of the stream. Kadena, I am not interested in investing in Kadena. You can rewind a little bit to hear that. Dogelon Mars, no on that one. We don't even need to look at it. Doge Chain, I bought some Doge Chain. Did I do a video on Doge Chain? I don't think I did a video on Doge Chain. Let me see. I bought Doge Chain. Superman and Joe Paris were both saying Doge Chain, so I bought it. which I did not research that one further enough. I don't think I would buy Dogechain again. So I've got Dogechain. I've got a profit on Dogechain because when Supo and Joe both covered it, I bought it immediately. I'm up 50%, but I wouldn't buy this again because the Ethereum layer 2s are destroying. Like, they are just going nuts. Arbitrum, Polygon, Optimism. Then you've got Internet Computer Protocol that can really do everything. You got layer 2s for Ethereum like Immutable X. You got all these other layer 3s. I just don't see Doge. Now, what I do, I bought Dogechain because it was such a small market cap. Where is that? So I bought Dogechain because, you know, what I will buy with the smaller market caps a lot different, but this is why I would not buy Dogechain again. The fully diluted is massive already. And, you know, so you don't have most of the supply out for Dogechain yet. I hate buying projects where such a small percentage is out because I'm sitting here holding 6,000 Doge, and they're going to give out, what, like several, they're going to give out like hundreds of billions more Dogechain. It's just going to get given to people in one way or another, and it's going to dilute what I'm sitting there holding. So I bought this, but I would not buy it again. And this, I bought this on, you know, thinking about if Elon Musk and Twitter would integrate this, but it's certainly, you know, Internet Computer Protocol or Arbitrum or some of these other networks would be much more appropriate or likely to get put into Twitter. I don't see Dogechain being the direction things go, but I've got a little bit just in case it goes up. But this is the problem. For me to get a 10x on my money, the market cap's going to be $2.5 billion for this, for me to get a 15 or 20x on my money. Now, I did make, you know, if I just wanted a quick 2 or 3x, I absolutely got that, but it's went down a bit. Would not love to. All right, so I'm holding some Moonbeam. I'll take a quick look at Moonbeam. So Moonbeam, when I started my new portfolio, was one of the first things I bought. Moonbeam is one of the Polkadot parachains. Superman must have, it was like almost a meme how positive Superman was about Moonbeam on his Twitch streams. So Moonbeam was one of the very first things I bought. I love Moonbeam is easy to use in the MetaMask wallet. If you look at Moonbeam on Zen staking, you know, Moonbeam was one of the first chains that, let's see if the Brave search thing actually works. So Moonbeam was one of the first things, one of the first chains that was connected along with the rest of these. So you got 3 million addresses minting Zen on Moonbeam, and yeah, it's in good company here. Now, if you some of these other ones like Phantom, Polygon, even Ethereum Proof of Work, Evmos, Dogechain, even Dogechain outperformed Moonbeam on the minting, at least for Zen so far. And Binance Smart Chain, you can see how many were minted on there. Let's take a quick look at Moonbeam. I've been meaning to research. I did a quick 1-minute review of Moonbeam. I've been meaning to do further research on Moonbeam. Let's check the Moonbeam Twitter. 290,000 followers. Let's check the engagement. We need a little bit more time. All right, we need some posts. Oh, no. Moonbeam, no. I hope you didn't fake your oh, they did. Can I just, all right, I'm looking for, all right, this one, this has 11,000, this a few days ago to give a better idea of the reach. I think Moonbeam faked their Twitter too. Either faked it outright or just paid for a bunch of promotion. 300, again, this 300,000 followers is Richard Hart level followers. So we don't want threads, we want direct. I've been thinking whether I want to buy more Moonbeam or not. So I like that Moonbeam, you know, the fully diluted versus the market cap is pretty close here. You don't have a max supply though. So Moonbeam, you know, you're not looking at getting horribly diluted like you are on some of these others. All right, 5,000 on this. Is such a low engagement rate. So they either have very low quality or disengaged followers, outright bought followers, or paid to have their followers promoted. Like, paid a bunch to have their Twitter advertised. Now, this one got some pretty good circulation. Let me see how many people on my Twitter follow it. So that's a negative. The Twitter follower faking, unfortunately, is very common, but it's also a pretty bad thing. You know, it's a bad sign. So this has actually got some clear quality followers. It's followed by, you know, 10 people that I follow. Would I buy more of this? I've got some already. Do I want to buy more of this, though? Where's the I want to see how many accounts. Where's the accounts? How many transactions do we have on here? I'm getting a decent volume of transactions. Alright, here. Can I get charts and stats? Here we go. This should show me... Alright, daily Moonbeam active addresses. So we've got like a few thousand active addresses on this. Alright, so my initial assessment of Moonbeam is that this is about accurately valued. Like, based on what I've seen so far, this is about the true value of the project. So I don't see this... I mean, it certainly could pump. And it's certainly down a lot from where it's been. This looks about accurately valued currently. There would have to be some kind of a... You've had some pumps for... I don't know if these were Zen mints that happened on here. This might be people minting Zen on here. So the active addresses, you got like a few thousand each day. Yeah, this looks about accurately valued. Which to me, I don't want to buy something that's accurately valued. Now, if this tanked quite a bit, I might get some in on it. Let's look at a historical price. Does it have to Bitcoin? Yeah, this looks about accurately valued. Not something I'm wanting to buy more of right now, though. I mean, this could pump. All kinds of stuff pumps, rather, you know, regardless of the value of it, for one reason or another. It's been, or it's close to the all-time low, which is nice. It also doesn't have a max supply, so this can inflate indefinitely. I mean, depending on how they choose to set it up. And it's an EVM-compatible smart contract. So this is a competitive field. There's a, you know, you got Phantom, just put its FEVM out. Internet Computer Protocol says you can just build EVM directly into Internet Computer Protocol. I'm glad I've got a little bit of this. I got, how much do I have? So I have $60 worth of this. I bought 141 Moonbeam. I don't feel the desire to buy any more of this, though. Right now I'm looking to grab some Quant, some Hello, some more Internet Computer, maybe more XRP, and maybe a little bit of Saucer Swap. That's where I'm at right now. A lot you love. Will I buy HBAR? I've got HBAR. I've bought HBAR twice. Somebody asked about Sunday Swap. I've bought Sunday Swap twice. So if Cardano is the second most I've invested, or so the top investments I've made have been into Bitcoin and Ethereum, and then next has been Internet Computer Protocol, and then after that's Cardano. I've bought 4 times Cardano, and I've bought twice Sunday Swap. So I am positive on the Cardano ecosystem. It's been one of the biggest places I've invested. But it'll be interesting to see, like, going forward each day, you know. Some days, I might get all hyped up on Moonbeam one day and buy more of it. But I can't picture this getting up towards the top of the portfolio. Like, to me, these are the 3 best things I've got in this portfolio right here. These are proven assets. They're probably not going to go down that much. And I think Internet Computer could go up a lot. So those are my thoughts today. All right, my friends. Yeah, so I've got some Moonbeam, but am I going to load up more? I don't think it's on my priority list to load up more. So I've got HBAR. You're way in the red on ICP. Almost everybody's way in the red on ICP. That was pumped way up by the FTX Alameda crypto crime family, which also they seem to be linked in with the president and a whole bunch of politicians, and that's one reason this project's in the dumps right now. But I think the technology is extremely solid on it. And if you can find me something better than this to buy, please, I want to know about it. All right, I'm going to go hang out with the family. I love you each, my friends. I'll be back tomorrow. Crypto Shady, Adi Cola, Ariba, Lisa, nice to see you. Mel K. All right, one more. Mel K dropped 20 bucks, and I haven't covered. Is it IoTex? Let me check IoTex, and then we'll get out of here. IoTex. All right, this is right around the Moonbeam market cap. Now, first impression, I like that this has a max supply, and it's fully diluted. So this means if this is actually going to get used, the tokenomics for me to just buy and hold it look like they're in good shape. So first impression, I like the supply. It's almost all out there, it looks like, but that's just the first impression. We need to dive deeper. It's because I know nothing about this. And the first thing I want to know about is how many accounts do we have? Because finding out the number of accounts and the address is a good way to get an idea on, what are you really working with here? 88 delegates. Some of them don't want to tell you the accounts either. All right, we got some dApps. It's like they hide the accounts on purpose because they know that's what you want to find. 60 million transactions. For where it's at in the market cap, that's all right. Let's look at accounts. Here we go. Oh, it's just going to give me every freaking address. That's just what I wanted. Oh, can I just do some math? Lisa, thank you for the 5! Woo! Lisa!
I'll catch up later. Thanks, Jerry. Everyone hit those likes on the way out.
Lisa, thanks for sticking that 5 right into my PayPal wallet with the Streamlabs tip. Really appreciate it, Lisa. All right, so if I can just do some math, 20... So there's about 50,000 accounts on this right now. So if you do the accounts, 50,000 times market cap, should do some quick division. Just take off, I'll just use the calculator. Why bother trying? All right, so that's about $5,000 per account. Thanks to Superman for showing me, showing how he calculates that metric. So it's about $5,000 per account right now on this. And it looks like a lot of the supply is tied up in the staking pool. So 34% tied up in the staking pool here. Thank you again, Lisa. Those tips there's a link if you want to tip in crypto. It'll go straight into my Coinbase account as well. That's in the description as well. Let's check their Twitter. See if they fake their Twitter followers. Almost definitely fake their Twitter followers too. God, maybe some of these just got huge amounts of followers during the bull run and everybody's disengaged now. More than likely, they paid or bought Twitter followers because it's way too easy to do that. All right, so this same issue I've mentioned with like every one of these other cryptos. 200 and some thousand followers and relatively small amount of impressions, which means disengaged community, dishonest practices, getting followers. Either one of those it could be, I don't know. But this is a low amount of impressions per the amount of followers they have. So that's a bad sign. So many of these projects, so many fake, like just faking you. And unfortunately, I hope you can see this is very common online generally, not just in but especially in crypto, the faking. So with this, you got 200 and some thousand followers, you're looking at like a 3% engagement rate, which that's not a good sign. I haven't seen them on the top developers at all either for building. Let's see what their website looks like. All right, connecting real world web 3. See, and then they use this right here, 200K plus community. And it's not that, it doesn't look like they're a very engaged community. That's, let's see. I mean, this is like, so does every other thing that does this. It's a fast, secure, and decentralized platform that connects real-world devices data. Like, everything does this now. This is what's tough about investing in this space, is like, what can I buy that doesn't do what everything else already does? All right, now this a launchpad for blockchain ideas and projects. Okay, now that's a little more interesting. All right, so that's cool. UCAM. Well, that's good branding. So I'll say that this again looks maybe accurately valued. Like, I see Internet Computer Protocol looks way undervalued. I think Bitcoin and Ethereum are both undervalued right now. Hello looks like it's undervalued. So these to me look undervalued. Ethereum, Bitcoin, Internet Computer, Hello, XRP, Cardano. Immutable X is starting to get where I'd say accurately valued. And then going down this list, it gets more questionable whether it's accurately. Chainlink looks undervalued to me. Phantom looks like it could grow quite a bit too. Tezos might be a little undervalued. Gala Games looks accurately valued. Zen Cryptos, it's interesting to see where that's going to go. So those to me are the ones right now, maybe Quant, that are also undervalued. This looks about accurately valued. Like, this is about what it's worth. The tokenomics on this are a lot better than some of the other projects we've looked at. So out of this last several things I've reviewed, this to me has what looks to have the best price appreciation potential. Like the ones before that I looked at, just the dilution of the project, like Dogechain and Moonbeam, like just how they're gonna release so many more tokens that just as an investor trying to buy and hold, you're probably not going to come out ahead unless the project really goes viral. This one might just be able to have some sustainable growth and actually go up in market cap. So I'd give this a better review than the others I checked out, but again, it looks like they faked their Twitter followers, which is a bad sign. So I think that's enough. Well, SHIB does have a real army, but you watch BitBoy Crypto's video and a few other things I've seen, Shiba Inu is starting to look really shady. And I'm going to hold it until I get a 20x at a minimum or go to absolute zero, but not looking to buy any more Shiba Inu. If anything, it's overvalued and is going nowhere. My current analysis of Shiba Inu is it's overvalued, it has no moral value, people have been tricked into buying it, and it's going nowhere. So no point in making a video dedicated to that topic. I hope I'm wrong, though. I hope every project I review is successful and that we can get rid of US dollars as the main thing people use to transact. All right, my friends, thanks a lot for being here. Crypto Shady, Ariba, Excel, Chai Sox fan for life, Bill, much love, Lisa, thanks for a great stream, Supoman. Mel K, thank you for the super chat. I'll hope to see you on tomorrow's stream. Thanks for the likes. And if you want to contact me between streams, check my website out. I got calls, I got a Millionaire Mastermind, and I got live notifications now on Discord and Telegram. I hope I'm wrong about Shiba. I really hope I'm wrong about Shiba. Because if I'm not wrong, I'm going to get wrecked on my Shiba investment, and so are a bunch of other people. I hope I'm wrong. But being wrong is more interesting. It'll be fun if I'm wrong on Shiba. It'll be boring if I'm right on Shiba. And on that note, we'll cut it off like Lorena Bobbitt.